That nigga probably knew
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Joanne's Kitchen. How's everybody doing today? This afternoon, I take that back, it's not morning, this afternoon. So how's everybody doing this afternoon? I hope all is well. Well, to my new subscribers, welcome to Joanne's YouTube family, and thank you so much for subscribing. If you're watching this channel for the very first time, go ahead and take the time to subscribe, and be sure to tap that notification bell so every time I upload a recipe, you'll want to be notified, because you don't want to miss out on none of these good recipes. And that's exactly what it is, good recipes. Okay, so I have a recipe for y'all today. I am doing beef stew and cabbage. Now the beef stew, everybody know how to make beef stew, right? But you ain't have it my way. So I'm doing beef stew, and it's going to be a little bit different. But I promise you this right here, as long as I'm saying this, it's going to be good. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be good. So I want y'all to try this recipe. If you ain't never made beef stew this way, try this recipe. And leave me a comment. Let me know that you tried it and how it came out. So let's get into the recipe and show you what we're going to do for this beef stew. Okay, so I'm going to put my pot back on the stove because I have my pot here searing and getting hot. So let me tell you everything that you're going to need for this beef stew. I have some onions and some garlic here just chopped up fine. I have my beef stew here that I seasoned overnight. Okay, now what you're going to need some tomato paste. You're going to need some Italian seasoning. You're going to need some allspice. You're going to need some cinnamon. Yes, I know these ingredients sounds different. You're going to need some master gravy. You're going to need some red wine vinegar. You're going to need Worcestershire sauce. You're going to need steak sauce. You're going to need chicken stock. Yes. You're going to need brown sugar, and we're going to get our white sugar. And last but not least, you're going to need some Fireball cinnamon whiskey, because this is a Fireball cinnamon beef stew. So where we have our pot getting hot, I'm gonna add a little bit of oil in here, and I have my my meat already seasoned, and what I'm gonna do is drop them into this bag of flour. Okay, it's just flour in here, nothing else, just flour. Now you got to fry these a few batches at a time, so we might need about 3 batches, because you don't want to overcrowd it, okay? You can do this recipe on top of the stove. You can start it off on top of the stove, and then you can finish it off in the oven. I'm just going to leave mine on top of the stove. So it's either or. You can do it in the crock pot and on top of the stove, or finish it off on a crock pot. It doesn't matter how you finish it off or where you finish it off at. Whether it's stove, crock pot, or in the oven, it's still gonna come out delicious. And this time of tomato paste, I have the tube, so we'll just be using a little bit of that. So I got some of my cubes in here, my meat cubes in here, and I got a little in the bag because we don't want to overcrowd the pot, okay? And we're going to do these in a couple of batches, so hopefully 3 batches will take care of this. And I'm trying to shake off the excess flour there. This would be better like in a Dutch oven. You do it, and then you could take your Dutch oven pot and put it in the oven. I got one, but mine is small. I need a real big one. I got to find me a big one. So just a few batches here. And we're going to let these get nice and brown for about 10 minutes, okay? So I'm going to do this batch, and then I'm not going to take y'all all the way through the rest of them. I'm just going to do this batch just to show you, and then I'm going to turn my camera off and finish the remaining batches, and then I'm going to come back to y'all and show you what the next step is going to be. Okay, one left, and that's it. Okay, so I'm going to add my second batch into my flour mixture. I gotta wash my hands because that so today's menu: beef stew, cabbage, rice, and cornbread. And then, you know, when you're cooking these, and if any like stick to the bottom or something like that right there, you want to take your spoon, your wooden spoon, of course, and just scrape it up. Because that flavor that sticks to the bottom, that seasoning that sticks to the bottom, that meat that sticks to the bottom, you want to scrape that up because we're going to need that. Because that's going to add any more flavor to everything here that I'm going to add. And there's one thing that I didn't put up here, two things I didn't put up here. One of them I don't have, but you will need for this recipe, and that's some fresh thyme. Because I like to take the little thyme and just sit it on top of my beef stew. Then I take some of the sprigs off, and I saute it with my onions and my garlic. Okay, but I forgot my fresh thyme. But I do have my bay leaves, so you will need bay leaves and fresh thyme for this recipe as well. So I know it's kind of a lot of ingredients, but I'm telling you, it is well worth it. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be good when you get done with it. It's going to have so much flavor till you're going to be like, dang. I'm serious. This beef stew is going to have so much flavor. It's going to be running over with flavor. Okay, where's my bay leaves? Because we're going to stick that in the pot. So I'm going to use 2 bay leaves in my pot. Something always dropping. I don't know. What's going on? I need to get me some more bay leaves. And of course, add your oil in as you need it.
Hey, Mom, I'll go get some money so I tell my friend.
Can you do what?
Trying to get some money, like, so I tell my friend.
For what?
So I tell my friend.
So you can do what?
So I can chill out with my friend.
$5.
They don't have it, so I don't have to use it.
I don't know if I got $5. I ain't got no small bills. I got large.
Alright.
Just look. Oh, look in my can. Look in my can in my closet. There might be $5 $1 bills in there. That right there nearby, because that gets a little hot. Okay, so I got one batch in here on a pot. I got one batch in my flour mixture, and I might have about 2 or 3 batches left in the bowl that needs to be done. So after I finish gunning, this is the longest part right here of this beef stew, is frying these meat off in batches. This is the longest. This will be the longest part. Everything else is a breeze, and it's gonna be quick. And then we're gonna let this cook for 2.5 hours until our meat is like tender, like fall off the bone tender. But in this case, we want it so tender to that shit, you can cut the shit with your hand if you had to. Pull apart tender. It's gonna be tender because I'm gonna flavor this up and I'm gonna tender it up, and I'm gonna show you guys. So after this batch, like I said, I'm gonna fry the rest of the batches that I have left. Then I'll be back to show you what we're gonna do. So I already have my potatoes, my carrots, and my celery, my onions, and my garlic. I already have that. Everything I need already cut up, diced up. And then we're going to come back. We're going to saute some veggies. And then we're going to move on to the next step. Everything is going to be done right here in this bowl. Pot. And you see how the flour is like caked up and it's making a little saucy like with the oil. Oh yes, there ain't nothing but season. To the season added, it's gonna be added to the rest of the season we're gonna put in this bowl, y'all. It's gonna be so good. I hope somebody try and let me know how y'all like it. I have a lot of good recipes. All we need is somebody to try these recipes, because I'm telling you, they good. I do these recipes because, one, I love cooking for my family. 2, I'm no chef. I'm just a mom with kids who loves to eat. We all do. We eat good. And I started doing, so I'll make my my recipes into a video, and hopefully other people will try them. So that's why I'm doing it. So you know, it's not there for decoration or anything like that. Try them, and then tell me. I get so many comments on the cornbread. but it's other stuff on my channel besides cornbread. That's good.
Can't do that, man. They don't want to try. They don't want to try.
Thank you. It smells good too. And I thought you gonna eat some cookies. I forgot that was serious.
I ain't having enough. Eat some more. Hey.
Ooh.
See more on your location. I told him if he cut it off, he will never go nowhere else.
It smells good already, and I ain't even did nothing yet. So I'm gonna get ready and put this next batch in, and I'm gonna take that batch out, and I'm just adding in a little bit of more grapeseed oil. So you don't have to use grapeseed oil. You can use whatever oil you have on hand, whether it's vegetable oil, canola oil, olive oil, avocado oil, grapeseed oil, whatever oil you have. And you don't need a little bit, only a little bit, you know, you just pour some in as needed, just like I'm doing here. We're not deep frying them. We just want to brown them a little bit. So don't deep fry them, okay? Just saute them like this. You just want them brown. Not deep fried. When I tell y'all this is the longest process right here, it is. So you do this recipe if you got the time, you know. I don't have nowhere to go. Not even if you're in a rush to go somewhere, because you want to take your time with this. So it's just one of those dishes where you want to take your time. And you want this to cook nice and slow. And then while doing so, you're going to be building up this flavor. So I'm going to put the rest of them in here. There's only a few pieces left.
Who taught y'all to cook like that? Me?
No, I don't think so. I was cooking when I met you. Okay, zip that up for me and shake that up. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna get the rest of this all brown up, and then we'll be back when I'll be back when all of this batches are finished, and we're gonna move on to step 2. See you in a bit. Okay, guys, I'm finally done with browning my meat. So we're gonna move on to the second part of this, and then the rest is gonna take care of itself. Okay, so I have my part in here with a little bit of stuff. I'm just gonna add a little bit more oil in here, and this again is grapeseed oil. So to that, I'm gonna add in some diced onions. I'm going to add in some jalapeno peppers. And to keep them from being too hot, you guys, they have been deseeded. So, there's no seeds. And let's make your choice. Okay, I'm going to add in my 2 bay leaves. Then, I'm going to let this just saute for about 1 or 2 minutes. 1 or 2, no more than that. And then I'm going to add in the garlic. Then we're just going to start building this flavor. All the crumbs left from the sausage, the beef. We want that in there as well. Then once this gets done, I'm going to remove the bay leaves. Okay, not too long on this. I just want to release the flavor and have the peppers and the onions a little soft, and just relieve the flavors of the onions, the jalapeno pepper, and the bay leaf. Okay? Because right now at this point, it's about building our flavor. Okay, I'm going to add in my garlic, and I have 3 fresh cloves of garlic that I chopped up. You don't need that many. 2 is what my recipe calls for. But you guys know me, I love garlic. And then I'm always going to add in a little bit more than what it calls for. So everything here will be in the description box below. Okay, to that, and I have this on low while I'm doing it, okay? To that, I'm going to add in some tomato paste, okay? So, I'm not measuring. So just eyeball it, okay? That was like 2 skirts. This smells so good. Good Jesus. Woo! It's gonna be good. haven't made this in a long time. Okay, to that, I'm adding in, this right here is the fiery broth and cinnamon whiskey. I'm adding in that. You're going to need some Worcestershire sauce. You're going to need some red wine vinegar. Well, not too much, just that's enough. You're going to need some steak sauce. You're going to need a little bit of brown gravy. You're going to need some cinnamon. You're going to need some allspice. I got some Italian seasoning here. Oh, this is going to be good, y'all. I'm telling you. Okay, that was a half a cup of cinnamon whiskey. If you don't have cinnamon and you got rum, you can use rum, brown. If you don't have brown rum, use brown liquor that you have. Half a cup of brown sugar, followed by a half a cup of white sugar. Now, trust me on this. It's not going to be salty. I mean, too sweet. It's not going to be that, so you don't have to worry about that. We're going to add in our chicken stock. And make sure you have like a couple of boxes on hand because you're going to need it. That was not quite full one because I used some for my my cabbage here. So you just want to give this a good stir. So if I need any more beef broth, chicken stock, I'll just add some in. So once again, after you season your meat, and it's better if you know you're gonna have this like through the weekday, the night before, season your meat so that seasoning can set in overnight. We're gonna stir this for about 1 to 2 minutes, okay? And then we're gonna add it back in the meat and the rest of the vegetables, and we're gonna let this cook for 1.5 to 2 hours, okay? And I'm gonna let it simmer for 1.5. I'm not gonna cook it on high. I'm gonna cook it on low because I want all these flavors in this pot right here to get married, to get happy, to get to know each other. I want them to take their time loving on each other, nice and slow. And I'm giving them 2.5 hours, 2 hours to do it. And it's going to be good. And we're going to have this over. I was going to do some white rice, but we're going to have this over with some yellow rice, cabbage, and cornbread. Okay, back to what I was saying. If you know you're going to make this recipe, do it. Season your meat and set it in the refrigerator overnight. So those flavors have chance to incorporate. The season have a chance to get into that meat really good overnight. Then get up the next morning and brown your meat with flour. You don't need any cornstarch added to it, just some flour all by itself, and then just fry it off. You don't want to deep fry it, you want to do it just like how I did it. Then you're gonna take, after that's done, then you're gonna take your onions into that same gravy. You know, you can pull some of the stuff off of it, you know, or you can choose to leave it all in. I did get rid of a little bit of it and left some in, okay? So then you want to add to it your onions and your jalapeno peppers. Now, for those of you that don't like it hot, this recipe do call for a Scotch bonnet, but I'm using jalapeno peppers. Now, to have it hot, you can leave the seeds in. I can't have it too hot because my husband has to eat it. So, we took the seeds out. And then, saute your onions and your jalapeno peppers for 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute. Then add in your garlic. And then add in your half a cup. We're using a half a cup of liquor. Okay, if you don't have rum, you can use whatever brown wine that you have. Not white for this, brown, okay? So I use Fireball because this is my Fireball beef stew. Then you're going to follow that by some cinnamon, some Italian seasoning and herbs, some cinnamon, some allspice, a half a cup of brown sugar, a half a cup of white sugar, Worcestershire sauce, steak sauce, and your red wine vinegar. Then just to make it a little dark, I use a little splash of my beef, my master gravy here. And later on, I come back and I thicken it up. I take some of this broth right here and take some cornstarch in a cup, pour a little bit of this, mix it up, and pour it back in. And it'll be nice and thick. Okay, so now I'm just going to add back in my meat. Okay, so to my meat, we're going to add in the carrots and the celery. Okay, then we're going to add in our potatoes. I only diced up like 5 potatoes. I did 4 carrots, and I did 3 stalks of celery. And I don't know, I went to Walmart, and for the reason Walmart had the big, large stalks of celery. So I used 3 of those, and those things was large. I never seen the celery that big, but I used 3. Here's our bay leaf. We're just going to get this started. So I'm just going to let it cook. I'm not going to worry about the gravy right now. I'm just going to put a lid on this. Let me get my lid out. I'm just going to let it cook. And then I start taking a look at it and seeing how my gravy is. And I'll thicken it up if it needs to be thickened up. But there's enough flour on the meat to where it's already thickened. It's already starting to thicken up. But I'm going to add a little bit more water to it. I'm trying to stir everything up together. I mean, not water, chicken stock. Chicken stock. If you don't have chicken stock, you can use chicken broth. But instead of using the beef broth flavor, now if you don't have chicken stock or beef broth, then use the beef broth or water. But on this, I recommend using the chicken stock or the chicken broth because that just comes with it with a whole nother different flavor. kind of flavor. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stick my spoon in there. See how it's thickening up? So I'm gonna oh my God, that's good. Okay. So I thought I had 2 cans of chicken stock. So now I'm using the chicken broth. And see the flour that's on this, that's why I tell you to make sure you put your flour on it and saute it. Not deep frying it, because it's going to already make its gravy. All that flour that was on that meat, I really didn't think I had to thicken this up, because there was a lot of flour in them. And we want this to cook, so all right. And that was just Worcestershire sauce, you guys. So I'm going to put my top on this, and I'm going to let this cook. And as it get close to being done, I'll come back. So right now it's on simmer, so I'm going to turn it on high. I'm going to give this a little boil, then I'm going to cover it up, let you guys see. I'm going to turn it on high. And then once it comes to a boil, then we're gonna turn it down on simmer, as low as you can. Your stove will let you go. We're gonna turn it down there and let it cook out for 2.5 hours, an hour to 2 hours. Okay, preferably 2 hours. I have but a little bit of that left. I might as well just gonna use that oil to stick that back up in there. So that was the last little bit of my Then if you like mushrooms, you can put mushrooms in here. If you like peas, frozen peas, you can put some frozen peas in here. If I had some mushrooms, I'll put some mushrooms over in there. So let me let this come to a boil, and then we're gonna turn it down on simmer and let it simmer for 2 hours. Then I'll be back to show you guys what everything looks like plated up. And in between those 2 hours, if it needs to be some more broth need to be in there, I'll add in more chicken stock. Okay. So over here I have in my cabbage, and I just cut the stove off on them, and I put on my yellow rice. I'll probably do that in an hour. So my cabbage is nice and done. I'm gonna remove that from this eye. Let this go ahead and season up. I mean get start boiling, so I can cut that down. Cornbread is in the oven, so in the next hour I'll just do my yellow rice, and by then this will be almost ready. So I'm just waiting till it get good and start boiling, you guys, so I can start doing what it is. That boiling and then turn it down, it's just to get those juices flowing. Okay. So I'm getting ready to cut this down to simmer, you guys. And let it cook, make sure it's on simmer. Yeah, it's on simmer. And I'll be back to check on it in a couple hours. So I'll be back and let you guys see what everything looks like plated up. Hey you guys, I'm back. And right here I have my cabbage and it's done. And I just thought about something. I had some spinach, and this is my baby spinach that I had left over from last night for a fish sandwich that I did. And I said, you know what, I might as well use this spinach. So I put my cabbage back on. And I'm just gonna my spinach. Okay, I had to wash the spinach right quick because I washed the part that I ate last night and I didn't do the whole bag since I didn't fix the whole bag. So I'm just gonna mix my spinach in with my cabbage. And by the way, y'all, I'm always doing something crazy. I'm always doing something that's out the box because I never mixed spinach and cabbage before. Today is the first. My cabbage, I'm not going to season this anymore, the cabbage anymore, because my cabbage is already good and seasoned. So this is going to wilt it down, and then I'm going to mix it into the cabbage. And I never did spinach and cabbage, but I was just sitting in my living room. I'm like, dang, I got some cabbage in there. I said that cabbage might be, my mind just be going and going and going. That spinach would be good in that cabbage. So I just got up and decided to mix it together. So we're not going to season it, like I said. We're just going to let that wilt it down, and then we're going to come back, mix it together. Now I season it. I got me some onions in there. I got some garlic in there. I got some red peppers, some yellow peppers, and some jalapeno peppers in there. And it's seeded. My beef stew is looking good, but it's still not quite ready. So I'm gonna give it another hour or so. I got my yellow rice on, and this is what the beef stew is looking like. It's not quite where I need it to be at, but as y'all see, this gravy is just steady thickening up. Y'all, it's good, but it's going to have a cinnamon taste because that's what we're working with today. You understand? But it's going to be good, I'm telling you. And I got my yellow rice on. So I'm not going to do anything to this spinach, no seasoning, because my cabbage is good and seasoned. We got the bacon in there, the peppers. I season it with onion powder, garlic powder, soul food seasoning, black salt, salt, kosher salt, black pepper. I said onion powder, garlic pepper, soul food seasoning, and Tony's Creole seasoning. So I know it's seasoned. Then I put some onions in here, some jalapeno peppers, red and orange bell peppers, all seeded. So, and then I put 2 teaspoons of garlic in here, because I like garlic in my cabbage. So, with all that, ain't no need of seasoning. You don't want to over season your dish. So this don't take long, really. It's just like when you're cooking spinach, you need about 3-4 bags, because 1 or 2 bags, it seems like a lot going into the pot, but once it starts cooking and it wilts, you have very little. I'm just turn this down a little bit. Okay, so you guys can see that's what it's looking like. So I'm gonna turn my stove off, and I'm just gonna let the steam, I'm gonna cover it up and just let the steam finish cooking it. It smells good, and I know it's gonna be good. I already know it's gonna be good. So I just wanted to show you guys that spinach and cabbage mixed together. 101. So I have my yellow rice over there, and we have the beef stew. So I'm gonna let this cook. It's 4:29 now. I'm gonna let the beef stew finish cooking until about 5:30, and we'll be done. Then I'll come back and show you guys what this will look like plated up. So I'll see you guys back here later. Hello you guys, and welcome back. I am done. This is my fireball and cinnamon beef stew with my cabbage and spinach mix, cornbread, and yellow rice. So let's give this a taste. I already done tasted it, y'all, and I done said my prayers. And I put some parsley flakes on top. You got them? This tastes so good. You guys like this recipe? Like, share, and subscribe to Joy's Kitchen. Once again, I thank you all for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Fireball and cinnamon beef stew with cabbage and spinach mix, yellow rice, and cornbread. Thank you all for watching. You guys have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Until the next video, I see you later. God bless. Stay safe. I love you guys and happy eating.